Hello, welcome to this Computer Weekly video. I'm Brian Glick, I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Computer Weekly. And in this video, we're talking about cloud computing, but in particular, we're having a look at what the implications of moving to the cloud are for your in-house IT. How do you need to go about modernising your on-premises IT infrastructure in order to help make a move to the cloud successful? Now, to help me answer some of these questions, I'm joined by Abdul Sheikh. Abdul is the Chief Technology Officer of Cintra, a global Oracle architecture and managed services specialist who've worked with a lot of organisations that are making the move to the cloud. Abdul, welcome. Thank you for coming on to join us today. It's very easy for any organisation that's focusing on making a move to the cloud to be a little distracted from their existing data centres, their existing on-premises IT. But that's a mistake, really, isn't it? Can you tell us why it's so important for organisations to look to modernise what they have at the same time as they're looking at the cloud?
I think it's fundamentally key to understand that the cloud journey is not purely a public cloud journey. It's also a hybrid cloud journey. We need to understand that the benefits of our on-premise legacy architecture in terms of retaining what's important to the business, what's most secure and fundamentally driven by data residency laws and so on. The modernization of the legacy or on-premise architecture is very important for the reasons being around cloud compatibility, for example, one particular key driver. Some customers, organizations may still be running legacy Unixes such as HPUX, AIX and so on. Those present a challenge in terms of cloud compatibility. And cloud compatibility also comes in later down the line when it comes to understanding what may have moved to the public cloud may not have completely been suitable and then needed to be moved back. So again, to have a modernized on-premise architecture that lends itself to full hybrid cloud compatibility is very important.
Now, most organisations listening to this are going to be saying, oh, you know, we're updating our IT infrastructure all the time. We're quite used to the fact that we need to keep our systems up to date. Perhaps you can explain why, in the cloud context, this is different, and what are the particular challenges around modernising on-premises IT in a cloud world?
Sure. Many legacy platforms suffer from the classic issues and challenges around siloed infrastructure, and also from a typical challenges of keeping those systems up to date in terms of patching the full stack. So silos of inefficiency, the ability to upkeep our security patches and our compatibility in terms of software compatibility to the cloud as well, and just generally in terms of efficiency overall, in terms of the ability for that architecture to be as agile as we need it to be in being compatible with the cloud. And lastly, of course, commercially as well, there's a lot of inefficiencies built into legacy platforms around licensing models and how our licensing serves that legacy platform. So we have a tremendous opportunity here to modernize and optimize the on-prem infrastructure, also then to look at whether we should continue to run that on-premise architecture within our own data centers, move a modernized platform into a private data center that is directly connected into all the public clouds as well. So I think it's a time to take a good hard look at how we address those inefficiencies. And in doing so, we're also freeing up capital funding effectively to move to the cloud as well. So there's some huge opportunities in taking a good look at modernizing our on-premise.
So it's interesting that you constantly use the term modernize here when you're talking about what people have to do to their IT infrastructure to help them make the move to cloud, rather than just upgrade or improve. Tell us in practical terms, what do you actually mean by modernize? What are effectively the steps that people have to take in order to modernize their IT infrastructure for the cloud?
I think the key thing in modernization is to recognize that legacy infrastructures are running multi-vendor, siloed infrastructure serving dedicated compute and storage to specific application workload. There's a huge opportunity offered now by converged systems such as Oracle's engineered systems, which is now proven for the last 5-6 years in terms of the ability to safely consolidate many applications with busy workloads into a single high-performance platform. That converged strategy really offers tremendous benefits in terms of performance, security, the ability to patch the full stack in one go, and to putting all our eggs in that one basket, if you like, has been something that companies may be hesitant to do so. But the benefits of engineered systems is so tremendous that we can easily achieve that now, and that really sets the stage for freeing up funding and the ability to optimize the architecture to move to the cloud. And then ultimately also, as I said before, provide that cloud compatibility in terms of bringing workload back if need be.
So let's just take it down one more level of detail then. Specifically, what aspects of an IT infrastructure are you talking about that organisations really need to focus on to be successful at this?
I think if we take a look at the Oracle world specifically and enterprise workload applications, whether it's Oracle Business Suite and other applications such as SAP, for example, that sit on Oracle infrastructure at times, those applications are tremendously well suited for consolidation into a modernized platform. What I mean by modernized platform are platforms that are well proven, such as Exadata, such as the Oracle Database Appliance. But now some interesting new models are offered by Oracle, such as Cloud at Customer. And I'll explain what that is specifically. Cloud at Customer is effectively an engineered systems that is offered on an OpEx model rather than large CapEx investment that sits behind your firewall, effectively behind the customer's firewall. So now you effectively have a public cloud model, consumption model, modernize behind your firewall. So it gives you all of the benefits of a platform as a service, both in terms of financial benefits as well as performance benefits, as well as the benefits of a converged platform that can be fully managed and patched and kept up to date effectively so as to mitigate any risk around security and so on.
So you've mentioned another alternative model there that people can use, this idea of running your own cloud in a public cloud style, but still within your infrastructure. For organisations looking across this sort of hybrid cloud model, what are the particular benefits of taking that, what you call Cloud at Customer approach?
I think Cloud at Customer being established in terms of a technology based on Exadata systems as well as other Oracle's converged systems allows you to bring application workload and database workload behind your firewall. So the tremendous performance benefits offered by that converged platform are immediately realized out of the gate. Typically a typical deployment we might see anything from a 3 to 5x improvement in performance without any changes in application code or any significant optimization. Security as well, of course. Public cloud is tremendous, gives us great agility and new capabilities for innovation. However, there are suites of applications that aren't suited for that. For example, financial services with low latency trading platforms will be difficult to move to the public cloud. So keeping those behind your firewall closest to the consumption of the data required around those platforms is ultimately very important. And then lastly, of course, the financial model offered around Cloud at Customer as well. Gets us away from the traditional CapEx investment model, moves us into an OpEx consumption model for public cloud, but with the benefits of sitting behind your firewall with the control that offers.
So there's a lot for organisations to think about, as you've described here, when they're looking to try and modernise their on-premises IT equipment to help them make the move to the cloud. Let's take it back to square one for an organisation that's setting out, considering going through this modernisation process. What's the first place that they should start? What's the one piece of advice that you would give to say this is where it all starts from?
I think I can answer that very simply by saying perform a baseline assessment of where you are today, an architecture assessment of your full architecture, not only in terms of capability and workload requirements and security profile, but in terms of how you would score that architecture. Where do I sit today in terms of my service level? Am I confident enough to have published that service level to the business and stood behind it? So taking again an honest look at where we are today and what we need to do to consolidate effectively, to evolve our service levels into a more formal structure, to take a look at our data classification, for example, in terms of what is needed to run the business versus what's needed to meet our compliance requirements and so on. So to answer the question is really an architecture assessment, looking at the full stack of the technology as well as the business implications of that.
Okay. Abdul Sheikh from Cintra, thanks for coming along and sharing some of your experiences of helping organisations to modernise their on-premises IT as they look to move to the cloud. That's all we've got time for in this video. I hope you've been able to take away some useful hints and tips that will help you in your strategy to moving towards the cloud. Thanks for watching.